a high, deep drive into left field, and this ball is long gone. Safe, he got under the tag.
One hop the wall and it lands for a double.
Want to ride into deep left field, and this ball is gone. Falmouth is going to the Western Division Final. Hey Commodores fans, welcome into the pregame show. Game number 25 on the docket tonight. The Commodores take on the Bourne Braves. I'm David Korzanowski, joined alongside Danny LaRose. We're back at home at Gov Fuller Field. They haven't played here since Sunday night. Danny, a road trip this past week, 14-0 loss, 8-1 win to Hyannis, 6-1 loss to Katuitt, 15-6 win to Chatham. It was all over the place.
Yeah, it's pretty much every other game was either a blowout for one side or another, save maybe the Katuitt game. I mean, that one was 2-1 throughout the majority of the game, and then Katuitt pulled away late. But Bourne 14-0. The bats weren't there, the pitching wasn't there. Next game against Hyannis, they were both back. Next game against Katuitt, bats weren't really there, the bullpen wasn't there. And then the next game against Chatham, everything was great again. I don't know what to make of it. At the end of the day, they split the road trip 2-2, and I mean, listen, 500 on a 4-game road stretch. No big deal. They're still sitting pretty in the division right now, and they're back at home, so I'm sure they're happy for that.
They also just came off a big win against the first-place team in the East Division. Falmouth stays put at third for now, and catching up with head coach Jeff Trundy to break down that crazy road trip is Katie Florio. Katie. Thank you, Katie and Coach. Danny, I want to then look at the game tonight. Possibly a great opportunity for the Commodores to get back into the winning ways against the Bourne Braves, who they lost 14-0 to start the week.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Bourne has had Falmouth's number this summer, and I don't know why. The lone win that Falmouth has against the Braves, 3-0, so it's still a very close game.
Yeah.
Other couple of games, 10-2 loss to Bourne, and 14-0, as we mentioned. So for whatever reason, this Braves pitching staff has the doors, around their finger. It's weird that Falmouth's bats can come alive with 15 runs against Chatham, and then, not do that against Bourne, but
Sure.
We'll see. This is a Bourne team that is struggling. I mean, granted, they have won a couple games against the Doors, but at the same time, they're at 4th place and they're well below 500. They're only a couple games ahead of Hyannis, who we know has been really struggling this summer. So this is a real opportunity for Falmouth to turn the tide against their division foe.
I do want to preview the pitching matchup quickly. Franco Aleman for the Commodores. He has yet to give up an earned run this summer. He's going up against Kobe Dunlop for Bourne.
Franco is great. I mean, he really has control of his pitches.
Yeah.
The only issue that he runs into is he lets up a lot of hits. I mean, we saw a good amount of hits his last time out, about 7 or 8, got into a couple of jams, didn't allow any earned runs. A couple of runs did come across thanks to errors. He doesn't walk a lot of guys, but that also lends itself to, they're going to start swinging at closer pitches and they're going to start making more contact. We've seen that the last couple times. He's not untouchable by any stretch, So it is interesting to see Franco do that, where he'll let up no earned runs while at the same time letting up nearly double-digit hits. And I wonder if there's going to be a house of cards that comes crashing down on him, or whether he can keep up that routine.
It'll be the 3rd start of the summer for Kobe Dunlop, 4th for Franco Aleman, and 2nd against the Bourne Braves. So maybe they'll make some adjustments their 2nd time seeing Franco. We will have first pitch coming up. Bourne versus Falmouth, game number 25. For Katie Florio and Danny LaRose, I'm David Korzanowski. See you in just a moment. Hello and welcome inside of the press box here at Gov Fuller Field. Clouds rolling in to Falmouth, Massachusetts, but we are ready for game number 25. David Korzanowski joined alongside Danny LaRose. Danny, I want to pick up right where we left off at the end of the pregame show, talking pitching. Franco Aleman has been one of the best pitchers on the Cape this summer.
Yeah, he's been really solid. Obviously, not allowing an earned run will definitely put you up there, so he may be an all-star in about a couple weeks' time. His last time out against Brewster was one of his more shaky starts, and that's saying something because, again, didn't allow an earned run. He did allow 3 runs in total, all of them unearned. 7 hits, 6 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. Still only has 1 walk allowed on the season. Biggest issue, though, those 7 hits. He throws a lot of strikes. Teams are starting to catch on to that, and they're starting to swing the bats more, and they're finding grass. So like I said in the pregame show, I want to see if Franco can bounce back and maybe get more swinging strikes and see if he's got that stuff more locked down and try to limit the contact.
He's allowed 3 runs this summer, none of them earned. It came his last time out against Brewster. As my partner mentioned, pitched 5 innings and got a no decision. On the other side for the Braves, Colby Dunlop, a 4.62 ERA and an 0-1 record. He hasn't gone deep into too many games.
Yeah, and his last time out, I mean, only got through 3 innings. That was at Hyannis, and that was 3 earned runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, only 4 strikeouts. Really poor performance from Dunlop. And yeah, you're right. I mean, for the most part, he hasn't really been starting too many games. He's got 4 appearances, 2 of them starts. So they've kind of been feeling him out. Bourne trying to see whether he can be a starter or whether he should be a reliever. And this might be his final chance to prove that he should be in the starting rotation.
We will turn our attention to the field now here at Gov Fuller Field. We'll walk you through the lineup for the Bourne Braves. Very similar to the team that started against Falmouth on Monday. Remember, they met at Duran Park on Monday evening, and Bourne killed Falmouth. 14-0 was the final. Leading off, Judd Fabian, who had 2 home runs the night after against Katuitt. He leads off, plays left field. Xavier Warren batting second. He's had a good day here at Gov Fuller Field before he took a Falmouth pitcher yard in the first matchup of the season. Then Cade Beloso in the 3 spot playing first. Jackson Greer catching, batting fourth. Cody Morissette from Boston College batting 5th, playing second. Jimmy Glowacki, Brendan Rivoli, Jared Poland, and Giovanni DiGiacomo round things out. Glowacki playing short, Rivoli in right, Poland DHing, and DiGiacomo out in center. Your umpires tonight, Joe Peters behind home plate, John Patula down at first, and Pat Burns over at third. Commodores wearing the white pants and the home stirrups and socks. They are maroon, but their tops are red. And the cursive font in white right across the chest reads Cape Cod Baseball League. Red Shirt Friday here at Gov Fuller Field. First pitch, off speed, misses low, and we are underway. 6:02 your local time. Again, temperature dropping into the low 70s as the clouds roll into Falmouth. Fastball misses low. Quickly up 2 balls and no strikes is Judd Fabian.
Something Franco said he never does is throw balls.
Judd Fabian, a 286 average this summer. He watches a strike on the outside part of the plate. 2-1. Defensive alignment for the Commodores. Tawa in left, Dunn in center to Loach in right. Cruz back at third base for just the 2nd time this summer. Kendall at short, Cantrell at second, Smith at first base. Strike number 2 on the outside black. Taylor Smith, traditionally a catcher for the Commodores, making his first start at first tonight. So doing the catching is the Florida State Seminole, Matt Nelson. Aleman's 2-2. Swung on and missed. Foul tipped into the mitt of Matt Nelson, 1 down. Beautiful off-speed from Aleman.
Yeah, that's that great slider that we always rave about that he has worked with Carmen Majinski on, and it was on a string right there. That was probably one of the best he's thrown all summer. He's really slowed it down, and Fabian was lined up for it, but that much off speed, he's always going to be out ahead.
Brings up Xavier Warren from Central Michigan, 274 average this summer. In that game I alluded to, back on June 15th against Falmouth, as this one is poked into left field, past the outstretched glove of Kevin Kendall. It's a 1-out single, and he picks up right where he left off here at the Gov. He went 3 for 5 on June 15th with a double, a home run, and 4 RBIs.
He was the guy I had my eye on. He was the one that I thought was going to be kind of the X factor in this lineup. The fact that he's torn up Falmouth so much and that he had a 4-game hit streak coming into this ball game, now make it 5. He has been red hot lately, and he's been red hot against these Commodores.
Cade Beloso First baseman, batting .310 this summer, steps up as the sun is trying to poke through from the left side of this field. Off speed downstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Beloso from LSU, a rising sophomore, batted .279 with the Tigers during his freshman year. Last summer he was in the Great Lakes Collegiate League. Aleman from the stretch, way inside, 2-0. Warren stands at first base. He just has 1 stolen base this summer. Aleman doesn't seem too concerned, but Taylor Smith puts his right cleat on first base in case Aleman wants to check over. Lifts and delivers. Change up in there for a strike. 2 balls and a strike.
That's something I was going to mention when you were mentioning that Taylor Smith was playing first base. We were counting pregame, and I think we gathered, if we're correct, 9 first basemen now for the Commodores on this season.
Keep in mind, this is just game number 25. He will check over towards first base, and diving back in safely is Xavier Warren.
I don't know if anybody has played back-to-back games at first base. I mean, maybe Kasperius way back in the beginning of the season.
Could be worth looking into. The 2-1. Fastball low. Right now, Aleman having trouble establishing the fastball early against the Braves. Aleman has faced Bourne before. 6 innings of work. It's his 1 win on the summer. Gave up 6 hits, no walks, and struck out 4. That was in a 3-0 Falmouth win on June 29th. Doors coming off a 15-6 thrashing of Chatham, the 3-1. Ball downstairs, and it's a walk. Just the 2nd of the year for Aleman, and first since June 12th. 2 runners on, 1 out.
Yeah, Franco says himself that he doesn't walk people. He doesn't throw a lot of balls, and we've seen that on display all summer. And right out of the gate, he fires a 2-0 count to Judd Fabian, who led off the ball game. And now Cade Beloso, 2 batters later, finds himself in a 2-0, then 3-1 count, and finally reaching on a base on balls. So that's something to really watch out for. If Franco is not throwing strikes, something is off.
There's a fastball coming in at 93 miles an hour according to the radar gun, and it's a strike. Jackson Greer up at the plate now. He looks down to Harvey Shapiro, the manager and third base coach of this Bourne squad, who sits at 10-15, 4th in the West Division. Falmouth, a comfortable 7 points ahead of them at 13-10-1. The 0-1. Sliced into left center field. It's down in front of Blake Dunn. Xavier Warren rounds third and will tap home plate without a throw. 1-0 Braves.
Something I wanted to watch out for, like I said in the pregame and when we were prefacing this pitching matchup, was Franco lets up a lot of hits lately. See if that he can, wind those down. But it seems like people are starting to connect on Franco Aleman. They're figuring out the puzzle, and Bourne especially. I mean, they faced him once before, so you know that they know what to look for.
This is also, I think, the most balls we've seen him throw to start a game.
Absolutely.
So you combine that with the fact that he's been getting hit a little bit harder lately. That's a recipe for your first earned run of the summer, which just came to the plate. Time called after a ball to Cody Morissette, and Nelson taps Aleman on the leg, and they'll have a talk on the mound. Aleman much taller than Nelson, wears number 37 for the Commodores and stands at 6'6". Nelson, on the other hand, 5'11". He takes off the camo hat, puts it back on, and tries to readjust. Settles in the stretch with a quick look back to Cade Beloso at second base. Braves strike first. They still just have 1 out in the top of the first inning. This is going to split the gap between first and second. Beloso holds up at third base. That's 3 singles for the Braves. Bases loaded and 1 out.
Something is not working out for Franco Aleman. Matt Nelson tried to help him out, help him settle down, and right away, I mean, Morissette didn't lose a beat. He connects on that fastball down in the zone. He's lucky Franco is lucky at least that Beloso was the one on third who doesn't have much speed, and Zach DeLoach is the right fielder who's got a cannon of an arm to make sure that the second run wasn't scored. But now you're in a really tricky situation because everybody's hitting you pretty hard. They're finding the gaps, and you want a ground ball right here.
Jimmy Glowenke from Dallas Baptist tries to keep the hit parade going. He swings at the first pitch, lofted into right field. DeLoach is under it. Beloso's going to try to tag up. Throw over to third base, cut off by the shortstop, Kevin Kendall, so no play at the plate. A second run scores. It's 2-0 Bourne on the sac fly.
Man, I feel like DeLoach could have had a play at the plate. No guarantee, but Beloso doesn't really have a lot of speed. DeLoach fired a cannon all the way over to third base. Seemed like it would have been close if he at least tried for home, and why not?
Opted to go to third base to see if Jackson Greer was going to try to tag up from second to third. He did not. He stays put as the lead runner over at second. Brendan Rivoli from UVA takes a fastball inside. Rivoli, a rising junior with the Cavaliers, had a .320 average, but he's struggled this summer. Just 108 on the Cape. The 1-0, way outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Aleman already approaching 20 pitches, 9 balls and 9 strikes to start this game.
This is definitely the least Franco Aleman we've seen him all season.
2-0 is golfed into the Bourne bullpen down the left side. 2 balls and a strike now. Solid crowd on hand. We mentioned the clouds that came rolling in. It got really dark right before the game started, but so far, no rain to be seen. Forecast does not look as promising.
Just got to get through 5.
It's got to be 5 to be a final score. The 2-1. Down the left side, this will land foul as well. 2-2. Defensive swing from Rivoli. He just gets a piece.
And that was a good pitch. That was a slider breaking over to the middle of the plate. He wanted to go back door, but it didn't really stay in the back door. That's when you got to hit the corner, and instead he put it over the middle part of the plate. So Franco, when he's hitting the plate, I mean, we've seen a lot of balls so far, but when he is hitting the plate, he's catching a little bit too much.
Rivoli trying to keep the inning alive. Fouls back another pitch. Stays 2-2. Rivoli, a native of Douglasville, Pennsylvania. He was a catcher for UVA primarily. He's playing right field tonight. Aleman spent his previous year at Florida International, delivers. Another one fouled. This could stay playable for Cruz. Behind his back, but he can't make the catch. It was a basket-type attempt from Trey Cruz. He comes up empty, and the count remains the same.
Got to credit Rivoli with a lot of defensive swings on some pretty good pitches, keeping himself alive. It's been 2-2 for now, 3 pitches in a row, and this is what good hitters do. Rivoli, one of the best, coming off of a year where he hit .320 and led at UVA in RBIs. So you got to expect that out of a guy like him. He's itching for another ribby right here with runners on base.
He has just 3 this summer. Aleman's allowed 2 runs in the top of the first to Bourne. Ground ball, right side, backhanded by Taylor Smith. Aleman goes over and taps the bag for the 3rd out. So Franco Aleman's streak of no earned runs ends at 16 innings. In his 17th inning this summer, he allows 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. Commodores are in a hole early. To the bottom of the first we go. Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness. Hayden Cantrell will start things off for the Doors as Kobe Dunlop fires a first pitch strike, 90 miles an hour on the gun. Dunlop from UConn, an 0-1 record this summer in 11 2/3 innings of work. Last time out against Hyannis, 3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. Hayden Cantrell coming off a 2-hit night. Blast one into shallow center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Hung up in the air and died in front of Giovanni DiGiacomo. Leadoff hit for Cantrell.
Pretty much every time when Hayden Cantrell leads off a game with a hit, it's normally a scorching line drive. Normally, he gets on top of it. He shoots a hole really well. This time, he puts together more of a defensive swing and is able to pop one up and over both infielders into center field. So sometimes you just get a little bit lucky, and Hayden Cantrell continues to do everything right.
Brings up Blake Dunn. Righty-righty matchup. Bunt attempt. He went around. It was a strike. Cantrell dives back into first base after the back pick fake by Jackson Greer. Lineup for the Doors pretty similar from the game last night, and why would you change it after a 9-run win against Chatham as strike number 2 comes into Dunn. Cantrell, Dunn, and Deloach start things off at second, short, and right field. Cruz DHing yet again. He's playing third base. Taylor Smith, after a home run last night, batting 5th. Barron Radcliffe coming off an 8 RBI night up to the 6th spot. Dunn lays off the 0-2, watches a ball outside. And then rounding out the order, Matt Nelson, the catcher, in the 7th spot. Kevin Kendall batting 8th, playing short. And Tim Tawa in the 9th spot, playing left field. Dunlop stands at 6 foot, weighing in at 185. Fires a changeup over the plate that Blake Dunn fends off. Still 1-2.
Blake put a really good swing on that. That's when you really want to pull, yank it into the hole on the left side, or maybe even up and over Warren, the third baseman's head. Instead, kind of got a little too antsy and kind of lunged for it.
Dunn into left field for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Doors. Cantrell and Dunn are aboard with nobody out in the first.
Now that's what I'm talking about. That's that inside pitch that you really want to pull, and this time he waited for it to come to him. Obviously, it's a lot easier to wait for it when it's coming in a lot faster at 92 miles an hour, but Blake put together a perfect swing on a pitch inner half like that and sent it right back where it came from. Great piece of hitting.
So now Zach Deloach steps up to the plate with the best batting average on the Cape. 69 at-bats and a .420 batting average. 4 doubles and 4 home runs. He had 1 of each last night. Here's a high fly ball into left field. Under it is Fabian. He makes the catch.
He'll have 4 more hits. Don't worry.
It's 4 for 5 last night. Commodores were absolutely on fire offensively. They had 18 hits. Now Trey Cruz steps up. He was one of 6 Commodores with multiple hits last night. He's coming off 3 straight games with a pair of hits. First pitch to Cruz is a strike. 0-1. Dunlop trying to work out of a jam of his own. Saw Aleman give up 2 runs in the top of the first. Looks back Cantrell at second. Here is a high fly ball into center field. Back and tracking is DiGiacomo. It's over his head. Hayden Cantrell gets on his horse and into third base. He's getting waved around by Brett Becker. Into the plate without a throw. Blake Dunn's into third. It's 2-1. A double for Trey Cruz.
Trey Cruz continues to mash. He is now 7 for his last 14, spanning the last couple of games. He's batting .500, and the most impressive part of it is he's been getting a lot of hits like that. He has been tattooing baseballs, and that one to dead center just kept going and going and going. I can't fault DiGiacomo too much with letting that get over his head because, I mean, hey, it carried. It was a very well-hit baseball. But that's one of those where you just got to put down your head if you're the center fielder and charge after it, try to set yourself up. Instead, he was kind of looking over his shoulder the the whole time, hoping that he would be able to trot to it and catch it in stride, but it doesn't work because Cruz shows off a little power.
Taylor Smith watches a ball inside. Smith batting fifth, playing first for the first time this summer. He had a walk-off home run the last time he was at the plate here at Gov Fuller Field. It was Sunday night, and he shot one over the fence in left center to give the Commodores a 3-2 win against Harwich. The 1-0 is high and in. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, he's a home run machine. I mean, the guy only hits dingers. He had another home run last night. 5 of his 7 hits are home runs.
He's got 1 double and 1 single. And his first single came last night against Chatham.
Yeah.
2 balls and no strikes. Dunlop from the stretch. Another ball. It's 3-0.
If you're pitching to Taylor Smith, do not throw above the knees and do not throw anything that is inside because he loves to pull the baseball. I haven't seen him shoot anything to the opposite field, maybe a foul ball here and there, but mostly he is pulling everything and getting under everything. So Dunlop should not go anywhere near the inside.
The 3-0's a strike. Fastball just on the outside part of the plate to the righty Taylor Smith. Smith next year will be at Grayson County College after spending his freshman year at Incarnate Word. He's got a 3-1 count. Dunlop with a long look into his catcher, Jackson Greer. Fires, ball 4.
No.
Did he go around? No, he did not.
No. There we go.
Yeah, first base umpire John Petula said he didn't. So now the bases are loaded with 1 out.
Well, what threw everybody off, me, Taylor, the entire dugout, was that it looked like home plate umpire Joe Peters was pointing down at the plate, which is pretty much the universal signal for, yeah, he went around, keep it here. But I guess he was pointing down towards second. That's where Petula was standing.
Last time Barron Radcliffe was up with the bases loaded, he put one over the right center field fence at Veterans Field. It was his first home run of the summer, and it gave the Commodores an 11-2 lead against the Anglers. He takes strike number 1 from Dunlop. If Barron Radcliffe can get going and consistently maintain those power numbers, I'm not talking 2 home runs and a double each night, but if he can be a power guy on this team, I think that's a great sign for Falmouth. The 0-1, a big hack, but he can't connect. No balls and 2 strikes.
And the biggest key I see to that is that he protects the guys around him. When you have a meaty lineup in the middle of the order, you know, they can if he's struggling, they can, you know, not worry about Taylor Smith, pitch around him so they can face Radcliffe. But if you've got a guy like Radcliffe back-to-back with Cruz, then you're like, oh, shoot, what do I do? I mean, both these guys can tear me apart. I really have to be careful. So that's what Barron can bring, is if he is really dangerous in the middle of the lineup, everybody else is kind of you know, bolstered a little bit.
He's in a hole here to Dunlop. Just foul tipped back into the chain link fence. Count stays 0-2. Strikeout here would be huge for Dunlop. He has 11 Ks on the summer to just 2 walks. Issued his 3rd walk a batter ago to Taylor Smith. Dunn on 3rd, Cruz on 2nd, Smith on 1st. The 0-2. Again, foul.
That was a great swing by Barron. That was a breaking ball that stayed up in the zone and started outside, broke onto the outside part of the plate. Would have been called a strike, I bet. Radcliffe doesn't really like those up and away pitches, and he's able to just fight it off with a well-timed swing.
Dunlop's working in the windup. Brings the glove in front of his face and delivers. Another foul ball. Barron Radcliffe, despite the count, working a solid at bat.
Yeah, he's definitely looking a lot better at the plate, just in each individual swing. He's really on top of things. He's timing things a lot better, and he's making contact, which is super important. For his last 10 at-bats, only 2 strikeouts, which with his pace earlier in the season, that's a very good sign.
The 0-2. Way high and away. Nice stop by Jackson Greer. That's ball 1. Defensive alignment for the Braves, Judd Fabian in left, Giovanni DiGiacomo in center, Brendan Rivoli in right, Xavier Warren at third, Jimmy Glowenke at short, Cody Morissette at second, Cade Beloso at first. The 1-2. Slapped into the Falmouth dugout. Another foul ball. This will be pitch number 8 of the at-bat with just a 1-2 count.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. I mean, this has been a lot of strikes. And you got to credit the pitcher because he hasn't backed down. I mean, he knows that he has nowhere to put Barron Radcliffe, so he's thinking, I got to throw strikes, and I will. Just Barron has been a touch behind.
The 1-2 from the righty is into right field and down. It's past Rivoli. Coming in to score is Blake Dunn and Trey Cruz. Another double for Barron Radcliffe on an 8-pitch at-bat. And the Doors take the lead. It's 3-2.
So Barron's first multiple RBI game was the one he played 2 games ago against Hyannis. Got a couple of ribbies. Now he has 3 straight multiple RBI games, so he just continues to get better and better every single day. And that was another really good pitch from Dunlop. Caught a little bit too much plate, and he did keep it up in the zone, but it was one of those up and away pitches that he got a couple foul balls from Barron before. We've seen Barron strike out on those pitches plenty of times because that's not necessarily his wheelhouse, but he's able to turn on it really quick, showing off a lot of bat speed, yank it into right field. That's a pull shot on a pitch that was, over the outer part of the plate. Really, really nice to see from Radcliffe.
Still 2 runners in scoring position for Falmouth with just 1 out. Ball number 1 misses to Matt Nelson, the catcher. Barron Radcliffe has been red hot in these past couple games. He upped his batting average 60 points just last night. Here's a hard hit ball into center field. DiGiacomo is over. He makes the catch. Taylor Smith's going to try to tag up. Throw up the line. Sliding in safely. Barron Radcliffe moves over to third. The runners advance. It's 4-2.
Hey, that's a productive out for Matt Nelson. I know that he wants to hit so bad. He came in with a sub 100 batting average. He only has 1 hit on the summer. But when you've got a couple guys on base, already a couple of runs scored and a runner on third, a sacrifice fly is really valuable because he just put up a 4 spot in the first inning. If that's the only run you're scoring with the bases loaded, then maybe you can shake your head at it. But the fact that they're just pouring it on in multiple ways, really good, and I love that from Nelson.
Kevin Kendall takes ball number 1 high. Kendall, the only Commodore who was hitless last night out of the starters. Radcliffe stands on third base. He's been the hottest bat these past couple nights as ball 2 skips in low. He had 3 hits last night, all of them extra bases. He had a double, 2 home runs. One of them was a grand slam. 8 RBIs.
My favorite statistic about that, all that, is that 8 runs batted in is more than any other Cape League team had on the night because
right.
The next highest run output was Chatham with 6.
Right. Unbelievable night from Barron Radcliffe, and Commodores fans have been eager to see his power at the plate and on display during games. It's coming. Strike 1 on the 3-0 pitch makes it 3 balls and a strike to Kevin Kendall.
A bunch of Doors have been red hot, but 2 guys batting back-to-back, Nelson and Kendall, they're really itching for hits. Kevin's hit a rough spot. He's 3 for his last 25.
Fouls off a pitch to Ryan Eiley. Cat-like reflexes over at first base.
He's like a puma.
Yeah, it's crazy. First full count of the night to Kevin Kendall. Three-two, 2 outs. Barron Radcliffe on third. Ball 4. Dunlop is struggling here in the first inning. He's issued 2 walks, given up 4 runs on 4 hits, and has not struck out anyone.
And this is something that kind of has become expected from Colby Dunlop because throughout his outings on the summer, he has let up high hit counts. His first outing against Orleans, way back in June 16th, 7 hits over 3 2/3. Then his last time out at Hyannis, 6 hits over 3 innings. There were 2 outings in between where he let up only 1 hit through multiple innings, but by and large, teams have been getting to him pretty frequently, and it's no error here. This is not an anomaly. We've seen this before.
He did have a couple appearances in the middle of the summer where he was pretty solid. 3 innings of work against Yarmouth Dennis. No earned runs on just 1 hit, no walks and 1 strikeout, but as of late, he has been getting hit around. The Commodores' bats have also been lethal. Here's Tim Tawa, coming off a great night himself. Who didn't have a great night last night, honestly? Skies one on the infield. Moving over is Cade Beloso. He's at the line, moves in a couple extra steps, and makes the catch. The Commodores bat all 9 in the bottom of the first inning. They respond after giving up 2 in the top of the first by adding 4 on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. To the second inning we go. It is already 4-2 Falmouth.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
A high-scoring first inning for both Falmouth and Bourne, 4-2. Entering the top of the second, Aleman fires the first pitch fastball for a strike to the 8-hitter Jared Poland. Quickly back and firing a second, swinging strike, 0-2.
All right, let's see if Franco is back to Franco form now with a lead.
He's working quickly, agrees on a pitch with Matt Nelson, sets up outside. Couple hops over towards Taylor Smith. He fields it and will take it himself. 1 down.
All right, there we go. Quick out. Just get through 5. Get through 5. Get through 5. Get through 5.
Giovanni DiGiacomo now comes up to the plate. Rising sophomore at LSU, 275 average during his freshman campaign in the SEC. 15 RBIs, 3 doubles. Also got plenty of speed. Saw it out in center field. Ball 1 way outside to the lefty DiGiacomo. He had a double go over his head off the bat of Trey Cruz and a single from Hayden Cantrell to start off the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss. So he had a handful of balls hit his way in just the bottom of the first inning. That's a good sign for Falmouth, who has been hitting the ball hard. The 1-1. Off speed, fouled back, 1-2.
Falmouth has been surging offensively, obviously. These last couple of games would show that, but now they're at second in the Cape League in batting average. It feels like it was just, 2 weeks ago when they were stalling offensively.
Aleman shakes off Nelson once. They agree on the second sign. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball down the pipe. DiGiacomo can't catch up. 2 down.
Loving it. Franco looks back to himself. He's firing that fastball with a little oomph. He's getting his spots down. He's not throwing a lot of balls. This looks really good. He just looked like a totally different pitcher in the first inning, but now he seems like he's back in form.
Judd Fabian struck out swinging his first time up. He watches a slider break too far away. Fabian, a Florida Gator. Line drive over to Kevin Kendall, and it's caught. 2 pitches to Fabian. And a quick inning worked by Franco Aleman. The Braves go down in order 8, 9, and 1. We'll have the leadoff man, Hayden Cantrell, starting off the bottom of the second inning after this.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
We're in the bottom of the second inning. My partner is constantly refreshing his Doppler radar page. What's going on?
All right, so right now it's 6:37.
Yep.
According to AccuWeather.com, which is what I always use,
Always. Wouldn't use anything else.
says about like 6:45 it starts to creep in with a little bit of that green stuff on the radar. And then
Foul ball from Hayden Cantrell, 0-1.
and then gets progressively worse. And it's like 7:30. It is supposed to bombard us. Apparently, Wareham is just getting shellacked right now. So I'm going to go check out if they're playing at home and if they're actually playing.
That is not a good sign. If Wareham
Positive
is getting
mental
rain.
attitude.
True. Ball 1 misses high and away to Cantrell. Switch hitter from Louisiana Lafayette. Grew up in Youngsville, Louisiana. He's been really the heart and soul of this team in 2019. Also a 2018 Falmouth Commodore. Ground ball, right side. Tough play for Morissette, and he bobbles it. Cantrell reaches. We'll see how it's scored as Hayden Cantrell is aboard for the second time tonight.
Oh, we're going with error. They're telling me. I thought that was going to be. That's a toss-up. That's a toss-up.
That's definitely a coin flip.
That is, yeah, that's either way you go. I'm just going to say that Hayden doing everything that a leadoff man needs to do.
True.
Started 2 innings at the leadoff position, gotten on base. Who cares how you get on base? Maybe Hayden does if it's a hit or not, but you know what? You got on base, you did your job. Kudos to you, Cantrell.
Blake Dunn rockets one into foul territory on the hill by left field. Ruled a hit. Hayden Cantrell now 2 for 2 on the night. He had 2 hits last night against Chatham. No balls and a strike. Dunlop checking over on Cantrell. Danny, you know something I noticed? I was going through, the game logs, the stats, all that good stuff. Hayden Cantrell was as up and down as the team in that stretch. When he had a good night, the Commodores won.
That's a good point.
Ball 1 misses low to Dunn. We'll walk you through it. He was 1 for 3 against Bourne with a leadoff single on the first pitch of the game. But that was it. He was held off the base paths after that. Then was 2 for 5 against Hyannis. That's a good night. 0 for 4 against Katuitt. That's a bad night. Commodores lost. Another foul ball, 1 and 2. And then last night, 2 for 5 with 2 runs in a win.
Makes sense. I mean, we've said it every time that when Hayden Cantrell is in the lineup and when he's getting on base, it seems like everybody else is energized by it. Although when he did miss a game, Falmouth came away with a win. So it's maybe not 100% effective, but there's definitely a pattern.
That's a fastball that leaks inside and plunks Blake Dunn right on the helmet. He takes off his elbow guard, tosses his bat back towards the dugout, and trots towards first. He seems all right. And now 2 runners on with nobody out for the second straight inning for Falmouth.
That's why you wear the plastic around your head, but this is not a good sign for Colby Dunlop. I mean, he had him 2 strikes, went with a fastball, and that gets away from him. Maybe it slipped out, but at the same time, it just seems like everything is off for Colby Dunlop. We know that he gets hit around a lot, but he usually doesn't miss the strike zone like that, and he just seems like something's not clicking.
Zach Deloach steps up. He was the first out in the bottom of the first inning. He swung at the first pitch and rifled it into left field for a flyout. He fouls off the first pitch he sees in at-bat number 2. Commodores have not had a rainout in the month of July. Their last rainout was on June 30th.
So they're due for a rainout is what you're saying?
The Commodores had 9 rainouts in June. Can you believe that? 9 rainouts in the month of June.
Did we play 9 games in June?
Ball 1 upstairs.
Were there more rainouts than games? Couldn't have been. That's impossible because we started June 10th. So definitely not.
12 games played.
Wow.
9 rainouts in June.
Impressive.
So there should be about 20 games in each month, in June and July, so that you're ready for the playoffs by August. Commodores instead will play 32 games in July, as ball number 2 misses inside. And I won't lie, we've had a really good stretch. Even if there's a rainout tonight, I don't know how mad I can get. They've played every day since July 1st, with a doubleheader on July 5th. So that's 12 games in 11 days.
So you're just saying because you're used to it.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to look at the glass half full. You're the one who's talking positive mental attitude, so I'm trying to bring it.
Good point.
Ball number 3 is low.
Well, speaking of positive attitude, Zach
And
Deloach,
look at that. The clouds are clearing up and left.
Zach Deloach has a he brings a positive attitude to just about every game. I love his approach every single game. He's always very humble. He's always just, I swing the bat and good things happen. And really good things happen for him, for a guy who's batting well over 400. He's been really impressive on and off the field. I like a lot what I see from him.
Here's a high fly ball into right center field. This ball is gone. Are you kidding me? Zach Deloach goes yard for the 5th time this summer. His 4th home run in his last 4 games.
See, you just swing the bat and good things happen. I mean, that's exactly it. He got a middle-in fastball, and he took it for a ride. I don't know why every pitcher keeps throwing those heaters over the middle part of the plate. We're going to get burned every time. It's Zach Deloach. Take a look at the scouting report. He's batting .420. I mean, come on now. Zach Deloach, again, to one of the deeper parts of the ballpark. None of his hits are cheap. Everything, maybe a couple yesterday that he got away with, but every home run at least is usually a moonshot. This guy is really insane.
Trey Cruz fouls back the first pitch he sees. Deloach now with 18 RBIs, 5 home runs. Again, 4 of them coming in the last 4 games. He had 1 last night, none the night before against Katuitt, but had 2 long shots against Hyannis on July 9th. Unbelievable from Zach Deloach.
This is a better than Kyle Stowers summer.
Foul ball into the crowd past the Falmouth bullpen. No balls and 2 strikes to Trey Cruz. Commodores starting to get that power that they were lacking earlier in the year as well. We looked at their batting order and saw a team that was last in the Cape League in home runs, but they have really come on as of late. Ball 1 missing upstairs. Guys like Zach Deloach, Barron Radcliffe, Taylor Smith, providing that pop in the batting order. The 1-2. Skied into shallow left field. Long run for Fabian. He gets there and makes the catch. 1 down.
There are, 3 or 4 things that make up a really good offense. One of them, obviously, contact. Another one, power. I would say speed and just your ability to get on base also rank up there with like the 4 real power, the 4 real tools that you need for an all-around lineup that can produce results. And Falmouth was doing 3 of those things very well. They had a high team batting average. They get on base like nobody else. I mean, they led the Cape in walks for the longest time, and then they just were lacking that power. They obviously had a ton of speed because they're stealing bases willy-nilly every game. They just were lacking that power component, and that was the thing that was keeping those games a 3-2 win or a 3-2 loss. Well, now they have that power component, so you're seeing these 15-6 wins and stuff like that because of home runs.
The 0-1 misses upstairs to Taylor Smith. Doors now lead 7-2. Maxwell Trink, our web reporter, was talking to third base coach and hitting coach Brett Becker, who said the same thing. He said power is usually one of the last things to come to your offense. And now it's coming for the Commodores in games 24 and 25. That's for sure.
Well, I feel like something I said earlier in the season is also redeemed, and I was saying it about a guy like Barron Radcliffe, is that Barron was taking every swing like he was trying to swing for the fences because that's what he does best. But in reality, you just have to swing, swing for contact, swing for a hit, and the home runs will come. You can't force a home run unless you're maybe in the home run derby taking batting practice. But if you just swing and start to put together hits, the home runs will follow suit. And they have for this entire lineup.
Full count to Taylor Smith after he watches a couple balls from Dunlop, who has given up 7 runs in just an inning and a third. Ball 4. Second walk issued to Taylor Smith. Third of the night for Dunlop, and he's really struggling on the mound.
Yeah, when you see him throwing this many balls, missing upstairs like this, never a good sign. They've got a reliever warm in the pen already. I mean, we'll see if Dunlop can even get out of this inning.
In the bullpen is a pitcher that the Doors have seen before, Kerry Wright from Louisville. We'll see if he gets the call. For now, it's Dunlop as the rain has started to come in. It's drizzling here in Falmouth. Strike number 1 to Radcliffe.
Right on cue. Like I said, 6:45, and here we go. Just got to hope that it doesn't pick up any steam.
Some fans already heading for the exits. The 0-1 to Radcliffe, swung on and missed, strike 2. Commodores had a game like this last year against Wareham where they were firing offensively. And then the rain came in and that game was wiped, made up later. The 0-2 to Radcliffe. Foul ball, well into the trees. Nothing in 2 the count. And still, Danny, just 1 out here in the bottom of the second. The Doors already with 7 runs in not even 2 innings.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of long ABs. Even when they're getting out, they're working really good at bats. There's a reason why Dunlop has thrown so many pitches, and it's not just because he's let up a ton of base runners, also because the Doors have just been – everything has been clicking in this ball game.
Dunlop has fired now 68 pitches in an inning and a third.
Unreal.
58, excuse me. Hard hit into left field. Another hit for Barron Radcliffe. He stays red hot. 2 for 2 so far tonight.
Got to be only a matter of time until Dunlop leaves this ball game. I mean, you can't have him out there for too long, just pretty much writhing against this potent offense.
Rain jackets are coming out here as Harvey Shapiro will take a stroll out to the mound. And it's not even a drizzle now. It is just solid rain. Starting to pick up some steam for sure as Kerry Wright comes in, and now it's pouring.
Oh, my goodness. Of course. Of course when Barron Radcliffe goes 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Of course when the Doors are leading 7-2. This is a mess.
Fans now running, and the field is quickly cleared of Bourne Braves. Is this our first? Yeah, this is our first in-game rainout at home, correct?
Not a rainout yet, but yeah, in-game rainstorm.
In-game rainstorm.
We got one about 45 minutes before game time that canceled the game before it even got started. But now we actually had a game going on. The Falmouth Commodores were firing on all cylinders. Colby Dunlop gets to take a nice long stroll off the mound and think to himself, well, at the very least, I can hope that this thing is going to get washed out.
So we're going to head to a break. We will update soon. Follow our social media as well, at Fal Commodores on Twitter and Instagram to get updates on the status of this game. But it's looking bleak for now, folks. We might be back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network, but stay tuned to our social media.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod Coca-Cola has been proudly refreshing the community for 30-plus years, and we're honored to support the CCBL and many other wonderful organizations on the Cape.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
So we are back here at Gov Fuller Field. Kind of. We're kind of back. We are in a 30-minute rain delay here at the Gov, and the Commodores are going to try to do everything in their power to play this game. Volume was a little low. We'll give you a quick recap. We are back here at Gov Fuller Field, kind of back. As you can see, the infield is absolutely swamped. The mound and the home plate area is covered up. The field crew's been out there. Some of the Commodores players have been out there. Just been informed by the Cape League president as well as the 3 umpires in attendance tonight that there will be a 30-minute rain delay. Teams are going to go to the locker rooms, and they're going to try to play this game.
Good. I got nothing else to say.
We're going to leave this here. It will be up. We will have a edition that says something like 30-minute rain delay. Keep paying attention to our social media at Fal Commodores and Instagram and Twitter for updates on this game. And we will be back, hopefully, to play the end of this one because the Commodores want it to continue to play, as it's 7-2 Falmouth right now in the bottom of the 2nd inning. We'll be back. Hello and welcome back into Gov Fuller Field. As you can see, the graphic change. The game tonight has been canceled. Danny, can't say I'm surprised about this one.
No, the radar kind of said so, and just stinks. Just stinks. Another rainout and another day where Falmouth was really putting the hurting on Bourne. It looked like they were going to get their first victory in quite some time over the Braves. They were going to continue their little bit of a win stretch they had going. We're leading 7-2, and it all comes to a crashing halt well before we could get through a complete game.
We'll do a quick recap of the game. 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning, 3 in the bottom of the second with just 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. Deloach had another home run that now won't stand, but the offense is really coming together, especially the power.
Yeah, the power is coming forth. I mean, we saw Deloach with another home run, the 4 home runs that they hit last night. So, I mean, that's obviously not going to stop just because rain came and puts a hiccup into their stride. It just stinks for them personally, you know. It was awesome to see Zach Deloach hitting 420 and adding to that, adding another home run to his ledger. It was great to see Barron Radcliffe batting 1,000, a couple RBIs again, looking to put together a dozen RBIs in 3 games played. That all gets washed away. I mean, hopefully they can pick up on that pace, and probably Franco Aleman is pretty upset too, because now he just completely loses a start.
Right. For the second time, Aleman as well. We had a game on June 20th out in Hyannis when he was on the mound, pitching pretty well, and that game was rained out in the 4th inning. Makeup date for this game is TBD. The Commodores will be back at home tomorrow night against the Brewster Whitecaps, 6 p.m. first pitch. For Danny LaRose and my producer, Jamie Miller and Tony Bianco, as well as sideline reporter Katie Florio, I'm David Korzanowski saying so long. First rainout for the Commodores since June 30th, first in the month of July, and they hope to get a sunny game in tomorrow, 6 p.m. first pitch. See you then.